Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another live session. In this live session, we're going to talk about dogs. I'm also going to answer your dog related questions. All you have to do is ask your questions in the chat area. We're just going to hang out for a little while and have fun and learn something or also discover something new. All that and more in today's live session.
If you want to learn the negative effects of treat training, which causes your dog to develop bad behaviors and health issues, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified about our next video.
Hello everyone. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners, and in this live video, I'm going to answer your dog related questions. Any questions that you have, you can just simply ask them in the chat area right there. I think you'll see it. And if you're new here, my name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. What that means is I train dogs and also I help and coach dog owners to have a great dog. And in this channel, we focus on training dogs without the use of treats, aversive tools, aversive methods, without the use of force, dominations, or anything like that. Instead, we focus on training the dog using play and praise as a reward system and get the best results from the dogs. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. There's a button right here. If you could subscribe to the channel, it would be great. This channel, we provide a lot of content and information about dogs and learning about dogs and helping dogs to become better version of themselves. We talk about a lot of what you're supposed to do with your dog, how you're supposed to help your dog to be the best of it, all that and more. So make sure to subscribe and also hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. So before we start the questionnaires, I know many of you have questions and all that, but I'm gonna start the conversation with an article that I came across, and this is one of the subjects that I get. A lot of questions that I get regarding this topic. But let's say hi to Arkello. Good morning. I'm new to the channel. Welcome to the channel, Arkello. Thank you for being part of the community and the channel. Thank you for being here. I hope you are going to benefit from the content and also today's live session. Welcome. Have a chill, relax, and enjoy the show today. Welcome to the channel. So what I wanted to first start, and by the way, again, if you have any questions, just simply ask your questions in the chat area. I'll read them and I'll answer them. But one of the problematic topics that I come across a lot lately as well is that many dog owners, either for some reason they feel like they have to put their dogs on a plant-based diet, vegetarian diet, and or they've been told by their vets that they need to put their dog on a vet or plant-based diet, and mainly is because of allergies or ear infections or scratching or things like that. So I'm very upset actually that even there are thousands of studies done about this topic, yet many dog owners are not aware of this, that dogs are not supposed to be on plant-based diet or vegetarian diet or anything similar to that. Dogs are supposed to eat meat. They're meat eaters. Maybe a little bit of vegetables will do good in their system, in their lifestyle and in their diet, but vegetarian diet shouldn't be the main diet of a dog. Dogs are not supposed to eat vegetarian diet. They're supposed to have meat. That's their natural so-called species appropriate diet for dogs, which is they're supposed to have meat and a little bit of vegetables, a little bit of fruits, and maybe grains, a little bit here and there, but not overly mixed to their diet. And I think mainly is because dog owners have been struggling with their dogs because of allergies and again ear infections and things like that. And they've been told that they should be feeding their dogs a grain-free or plant-based diet, but dogs are not supposed to be fed grain-free. I mean, that's not the problem. The problem is the processed kibble dry food that probably you're feeding your dog, and mainly is because you're feeding a food that is not ideal for your dog, which I mean a kibble or dry food is not the ideal diet for your dog. Therefore that's the reason it is causing your dog to have ear infection, allergies, and things like that. And the solution is not to feed them another brand or another um, food, dry food, and hope that the problem is going to go away. That's not the solution. The solution is not to feed them another kibble or dry food. You're supposed to feed them fresh food. Personally, when I had Jonah, he had the same issue. That's what we experienced as well. That he had allergies and other issues, and we were told by our vet, by one of the first vet, that yeah, we had to feed him potatoes and a little bit of fish, mainly potatoes though. So they were pushing us to feed Jonah uh, kind of plant-based diet, vegetarian diet. But I started researching and all that, and I started feeding him cooked food in the beginning, and he did very well. He loved it, and we were told that he's allergic to chicken and beef, so he can't have those. But as soon as we changed his diet to cooked meal, fresh meal, homemade meal, his problems went away, and he started having no allergies anymore, and he did well, And the solution was just changing the food to fresh diet. So overall, I hope you are not considering uh, at all to feed your dogs plant-based diet. I mean, even though it shows in the news outlets, and they have articles and they talk about all these, but basically what it is it's these food companies. They do this research, kind of. They pay for the research, and they're just trying to promote their brand of food or something related to that. It's bias, right? And I don't think it's right in this day and age. And you have to be very careful about where you're getting your information from and who you're getting from. So yeah, I would be very careful about that when it comes to diet. So I just wanted to start with that, and let's continue with our question and answers. So if you have any questions, please leave those questions in the chat area. I'll be reading them and answering your question. Question we have from Elizabeth Torres. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth. Thank you for being here. I have two pogs. The female pog pees on her bed. I have no idea why, given she spent a lot of time outside, then she sleeps on her bed. Um, yeah, this is a common issue for many dog owners. I've been asked this question many times. Um, mm, then she will lay in her bed. How can I correct it? Okay, so there are few reasons that this can happen. The reason this is happening is one, it could be that one of your pugs is kind of stressing the other pug, right? So one of the dogs is stressing the other dog. So what that does is that when the dog stresses, it has to express his stress and anxiety somehow. And believe it or not, funny or not, dogs, the way they express their emotions is by their behavior. What I mean by that is because dogs, they communicate differently than humans. You know, humans, we have the ability to talk and express ourselves verbally, and also physically we can express ourselves, but mainly we do verbally. But dogs, they try to also verbally, probably physically, they're more physical communicators. Probably, Elizabeth, your one of your pogs has already uh, expressed its feelings and emotions, but probably because you are not understanding its body language, it didn't you didn't get the message. So therefore, the next step for your pog is, since it's communicated uh, that way, that clearly has said, there's some form of something is causing me to get stressed. Now, I'm guessing is either other your other pog, or could be your lifestyle, or could be something that you're not providing your pog is causing your pog to become stressed. So has tried to express itself, didn't get anywhere. So now it's trying to literally trying to clearly give you a message, right? Um, like what? How can I explain this to mom? I'm gonna just pee in the bed. Hopefully, mom is gonna get it, right? So it's something that it's something that your pug is trying to express itself. It's. I mean, I'm sure before, again, your pug has expressed itself, but you haven't noticed, you haven't got the message, you didn't, it wasn't clear to you. And most dog owners are not uh, able to read body language of a dog, or understand dogs the way, for example, I do, or some other expert dog owners or dog trainers do. So we don't understand the message, we don't get it. So your pug has given you the message, but you didn't get it. So next step for your pug is to pee in the bed, and hopefully that will give you a clear message. And luckily, you are here now, and you're asking me, for example, and that's how dogs communicate. They pee in the bed, and you ask me, and now I'm giving you solutions, and hopefully you're going to take these solutions and make a difference in your dog's life. The follow up to your question is yes, exactly. The male Zorro. Oh, I love that name, Zorro. One of my favorite childhood characters. I used to when I used to uh, when I was growing up. Zorro was one of my superheroes. Superman wasn't my superhero. Zorro was one of my superheroes. And it's interesting. I love that name. My name rhymes with Zorro as well. So Saro, Zorro. It's kind of rhyming. And whenever I'm in public or anywhere and I say my name is Saro, people think my name is Zorro. That's a interesting coincidence that your pug's name is Zorro. Anyway, so yes, the male Zorro stresses Lola out. So you have a male and female. Male is Zorro, the female is Lola. He's constantly bullying her, nagging her, won't stop humping her. They are both fixed. So can you tell me their ages as well? That could be an issue as well. The age could be issue, but overall, now I think it's making sense, right? So Zorro is stressing Lola out, right? And your female is peeing in the bed to tell you that, Mom, Zorro is bothering me, right? Do something. Do something, mommy. Right? I noticed, but don't know how to get him to give her space and leave her alone. No worries. They're both 3 years old. Okay, I'll give you some solutions. So now we know why Zorro is why. Now we know why Lola is peeing in the bed, because Zorro is annoying Lola, right? Now we know that, and we know why Lola is peeing. You are now you know why is now the solution to this is Zorro, because constantly bullying and nagging her and humping her. It's clear sign to me that Zorro is lacking mental and physical stimulation. Uh, So what I mean by that is when a dog is not stimulated enough, what it does, it comes up with ideas and plans to stimulate itself. Um, so let me see. So I'm going to share a video so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Let me do this. So what I would love you to think of is that stimulation for a dog is something that um, dogs need to stimulate themselves. They need to somehow stimulate their physical and mental system. And if you don't do that, they become creative and they become, in this case, Zorro is stimulate itself physically and mentally and emotion using Lola as a toy, as a passing, as something that it can stimulate and entertain itself. So you don't want to allow that to happen. You want to provide each one of your dogs proper amount of stimulation. So what do I mean by stimulation? Let's watch this and I'll pause and explain more. So the first thing that I do with my dog every day is exercise. Provide some form of exercise for my dog, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's playing in the yard, whether it's I allow my dog to play with other dogs, or she plays on her own. So the first thing that I do is provide some form of physical exercise for my dog. So that's a physical stimulation for my dog. I do that every day, and you should be thinking of providing some form of physical activity for your dog every day, something that brings the heart rate up and provides some form of physical activity for your dog. The next thing that I provide for my dog is training. Training is not just for getting my dog to be trained or something, but this is another form of stimulation, which is mental stimulation. I try to provide some form of mental stimulation for my dog, and I found that training is the best form of mental stimulation for my dog. And I use play and praise reward system dog training. So especially this type of training is very stimulating, very beneficial, and very healthy to provide mental stimulation for my dog. Now, studies have shown that you shouldn't be overtraining your dog. That study was done based on training dogs using treats, but because I'm using play and praise as a reward system to train my dog, I'm not worried about that. It's much healthier. We're not using treats, we're not using food, so we're using different method of dog training, which is using play and praise reward system. So it's beneficial. I do this every day. I train my dog because I'm playing with my dog, I'm praising my dog, and meanwhile I'm training my dog. She gets the benefits of being stimulated mentally. I get the benefits of having a well trained dog and well maintained because I'm training her every day, and she's healthier and happier, and she always wants to be trained. So that gives me a signal she's enjoying this activity. So that's another thing that I do every day with my dog. So the third thing that I provide for my dog is socialization. I try to introduce one new thing to my dog every day, whether it's an object, a scent, a being, whatever it is. Every day I try to introduce her to something new, especially that she's a sensitive type of dog and she needs to be comfortable with everything that she comes across. So my goal is to make her as comfortable as she can be with everything that she may or may not come across. So socialization is the other thing that I provide every day for my dog. Now here's two other things that I provide for my dog as well. So the fourth thing is care. I provide a proper care for my dog, which means I provide a proper and species appropriate diet for my dog. I try to provide a great lifestyle for my dog. So that means I try to reduce the stress, daily stress that she goes through every day, and provide a good opportunity for her to rest and also be physically active and mentally active, but also have enough time to rest during the day. I try my best to provide the best care that I can. So that means brushing and cleaning and keep her healthy and happy. Now, the last thing that I provide for my dog every day is affection. I spoil my dog. I spoiled my dogs overall, but I spoiled my dog in a way that it just ridiculous. But the reason I do that is because I provide my dog's daily essential needs, daily needs of her. My dog has been provided, and therefore I'm sharing affection and I'm spoiling her because I have provided all her needs and her needs have been met every day, all day long. So therefore, we share affection, a lot of affection, and that is good. I only share affection if I have provided her other needs. So if you want to know exactly what these 5 daily essential needs are, go ahead and watch this video, and I'll see you. I hope you got that. So that's one of the things that I do. I focus on providing my dog's daily 5 essential needs, and that helps my dog to be so, excuse me, to be stimulated both physically, mentally, emotionally. Let me see if I can bring the needs list. I know there are some questions in the chat area. I'll get to them. Don't worry. Just hang out and relax and have fun. Here, just give me a moment. Let me bring that up. so I can give you a better answer. So let me get this. There we go. So if you provide your dog's daily five essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, um, that is going to not only stop your dog's peeing in the bed, but is going to give each one of them, each one of your dogs, Elizabeth, Zorro, and Lola, an opportunity to be stimulated. So, Zorro, you're going to solve the problem of Zorro not having the annoying activity of annoying Lola. It's not going to be bothering Lola, and Lola is not going to also be bothered by Zorro. So you have to remember that the reason most of the time dogs misbehave, so-called misbehave, every time dog owners they say my dog doing that misbehaves or this does this or does that, there's the reason for that is because again they're communicating. Your Lola wasn't doing it to piss you off, wasn't it peeing in the bed to piss you off, it was just trying to communicate. And what is trying to communicate to you? It's saying to you that mom, can you do something with Zorro? Can you provide Zorro's daily exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection? And as I explained in the video, in the lesson, you saw, I do that every day. I'm a dog trainer, I'm a dog owner, I'm a dog lover. I do that every day with my dogs, and I focus on providing those five daily essential needs for my dog. I mean, there are only five of them. Any human, any dog owner should be able to provide their dog's daily five essential needs. And uh, if you compare it to your needs that needs to be provided, which you need coffee, need your car, you need your house, you need your computer, you need your phone, you need to go here, you need to go there, you need to do this, you need to do that. There's so many things that as a human being we need to do, whereas a dog just has five things that they need to be provided. And they're not asking much, just five things. So just focus on providing those five things, Elizabeth, and provide them on daily basis, and you'll be fine. Okay. Um, Elizabeth says this makes so much sense. I get the idea. I will work on this. Thank you. You are very welcome. I'm glad I was able to give you some ideas and help you. All right, next let's go to Jim Forrest. So our dog Sadie is very timid and anxious dog. Socialization, especially with other dogs, is extremely difficult. For example, we haven't been able to get her within 10 feet of another dog. Any ideas? Yes, Jim. So the reason this happens, I mean, one thing that I always have to remind dog owners is that, meanwhile, I'm doing two things. I have to always remind dog owners that just because you have a dog, it doesn't mean that your dog has to socialize with dogs as well. Every dog is different. Every dog has different needs different needs, but also different ways of needing to be socialized. You know what I mean? Um, just because it's a dog, it doesn't mean that it has to be 100% socializing with other dogs, right? So what I usually suggest dog owners to is that you don't have to force yourself to get your dog to socialize with other dogs, because that puts pressure on you to accomplish this task of daily 5 essential needs, right? And what it does, it puts a pressure on you, and then you transfer that pressure on your dog, on your Sadie, and you're forcing your dog to go and socialize with other dogs. If your dog is not comfortable with other dogs yet, you have to read that message and say, you know what, we're going to slow down and work on this. It's not that we have to accomplish this today or within the next month or so. You have a dog, most dogs usually live 12 to 16 to 18 years of age, so you still have time. You don't have to rush yet. And the other thing is, when it comes to socialization, um, you're not just focused on socializing your dog with other dogs. You need to focus on, as I said in the lesson in the video earlier, objects, individuals, maybe humans, people, anything, and any of those also are part of socialization. So you have to focus on providing those type of socialization as well. So let me share with you how I would work on socializing my dog, and you can get some ideas here as well. My dog, I'm going to be able to control other dogs as well. Hello, dog lover. Many of you are familiar with my formula for having a healthy and happy and well-behaved dog, which is providing your dog's daily 5 essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. I've talked about a lot about exercise, always talk about training, and one of the main questions that I get is, how do I socialize my dog? So let's pretend this is a dog park. Obviously, it's not a dog park. This is the doggy daycare. And we're trying to socialize our dog. How do we help our dog to socialize? So first of all, socialization is something that you help your dog to learn through a couple of ways. One is natural, one is man-made. The man-made is helping the dog to learn what is supposed to do and what is not supposed to do in urban lifestyle with humans, by taking advantage of providing proper exercise for the dog. And by training, you can build that communication between you and your dog, so your dog can get cues from you. And with providing those two, then you can provide a man-made socialization with your dog. I hope that makes sense. Now, the natural way of socialization and learning for a dog is allowing a dog to be among dogs. Dogs can learn good or bad manners from dogs. So if you're in a situation that you have a puppy or you have a dog and you want to socialize it, and you're depending on other dogs to help you with that, you have to make sure that the environment that you're providing for your dog is ideal. You want to make sure the dogs that are involved in training your dog natural socialization are ideal dogs. They are well behaved, they're balanced. Obviously, they're not aggressive, they don't have negative behaviors developed. And that is very important when you're selecting the dog park that you're taking your dog to. So if you're going to take your dog to a dog park, you have to make sure that you survey the environment, make sure that these dogs are well behaved, and you understand body language, if you understand how dogs are, if you know them, if you have met them previously. Are these dogs good dogs? If you don't know a certain dog, if you are not familiar with a certain dog,
and you're not sure if that dog is going to harm your dog or is your dog is going to learn bad manners from that dog, then I would avoid that park at that moment. Maybe come back later. But in general, you want to make sure the park and the environment and the dogs are ideal for you to get your dog involved with those dogs. One other tip that I share with dog owners is that the dog park is not where your dog learns the main social skills. That's something that you have to help the dog first, have some of the basic information before you put them in an environment that there are lots of dogs, and expect the dogs to naturally train your dog and teach your dog social skills. The dog park is an environment that your dog is practicing social skills. It's not where they learn. Originally, you have to start it, the man-made method of socialization, and then you have to bring them to the dog park and allow them to practice those social skills. I hope that makes sense. Now, so how do you go about teaching a dog?
Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I want to make sure that you understand that that part is very important. That just because, again, you're taking your dog to dog park, or you're taking your dog to on the streets and walking, and your dog sees another dogs, and you're saying, hey, you gotta learn to socialize. How come you're not socializing? That's not the time and the place to teach a dog how to socialize. You have to, the dog park and on the streets, when you see other dogs, that's the place that your dog is practicing social skills. So if your dog is, let's say, in the park, or you're walking on the street and you see another dog and your dog is reacting, so that means your dog doesn't have the social skills yet, hasn't learned yet. So you have to still work on teaching your dog the social skills. And the way you teach that is by accomplishing the man-made training, which is basic obedience. You have to accomplish that. Why is it that you have to accomplish, let's say, basic obedience? Because you want to make sure you have some form of communication between you and your dog is paying attention to you, getting cues from you, and learns from you. So if in case you need to ask your dog to stop certain behavior, or go and practice certain behaviors, you can communicate those things to your dog, which I'm going to show you as we continue on this lesson.
Social skills. So I'm going to pick one of these dogs. Let me use this. This is Indy. So if I want to teach Indy, which is not my dog, and this is one of my clients' dog, I'm going to make sure that my dog is nice and calm. Right? It's nice and calm. Indy, sit, stay, and I'm going to use the man-made help that I have developed with my dog, which is commands, using commands. Sit, stay. Billy, no. Annie, no. Nope. Nope. Sit. Stay. Control my dog. And if I control my dog, I'm going to be able to control other dogs as well. Now, my dog is nice and calm. Annie, no. My dog is nice and calm. Then I can off-leash my dog and allow my dog to be a dog among dogs. If my dog is excited and is too happy or too stressed to be in the dog parks, and I bring my dog in with that energy to the dog park and expect my dog to behave properly, first of all, I'm digging a hole for myself. My dog is going to do bad with other dogs. And also, if the dog who is excited, and I'm bringing it in the park, it's going to excite other dogs. That also is a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to have to make sure, which is very hard for many dog owners, it's very hard to calm their dog down before entering the dog park or inside the dog park. So this is why the man-made training comes in handy for you to practice exercise, proper training, proper commands, and all that, and then approach a dog park or an environment that you can ask the dog or get the help from dogs to help you with socialization and improve your dog's social skills. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, leave those questions in the comments area.
So I hope it makes sense, right, Jim? You see where we are now, right? Where we are in the foundation level, we are building foundation, and then we're building on top of that the information that the dog needs. So that's how you help a dog to socialize. You don't all of a sudden just go, many people, many dog owners, they say, you know what, I'm going to take my dog to dog park, or I'm going to let my dog learn from other dogs. That's the best way of, allowing a dog to learn socialization and be a dog and all that. But unfortunately, and this is unfortunate, or it's kind of pros and cons, fortunately and unfortunately, dogs are living with humans, among humans, um, and it's different. If dogs lived among dogs only, it would have been different. It would have been a different scenario, a different story. But because dogs are living among humans and dogs, and humans are in the picture, we have to approach it differently. As I explained in the lesson, we have to help the dog in two ways: man-made and natural. So if a dog is living among dogs only, yeah, that naturally happens, and they figure it out. Worst case scenario, a dog is going to say, you know what, you're not my type, I'm going to kill you. So they kill another dog, right? That's a natural process. In our situation, where the dog is living among humans and dogs, the human has to take action and do some man-made training, do something before allowing the dog to naturally get the rest. So natural socialization happens only when we have a good foundation. And when we have the foundation properly done, then we can control the dog, and the dog can start learning additional information that it needs. Jim is saying, it makes sense, but I can't get her out of the court where we live. She is socializing with her other people and things, but she has trouble listening to commands in the situation. Yeah, don't rush again. Understanding the fact that you and your dog are not ready yet, it's very it's it it should be your first clue. You know, again, many dogs and dog owners, they don't realize that it's not, socialization is not something that it happens within a month or two. It happens throughout a life of a dog, right? And you can't rush, not right? First of all, don't rush. And second of all, if you see that your dog, Sadie, for example, she has trouble listening to commands in that situation, it's a clear signal to you that you and Sadie are not ready for that step yet. So you have to go back, accomplish at least the foundation, basic obedience, and then say, okay, let's see if what we have worked on is helping us to deal with this situation. And many dog owners, again, they don't read their dog's signals well, and unfortunately, or again, I mean, mainly unfortunately, dog owners, they don't read their dog's signals. um, that's a problem. Many dogs, they are giving a lot of signals to dog owners, to humans, that hey, this is too much for me, or I'm stressed, I'm some, like, in the previous case question that Elizabeth had, Zoro was bothering Lola. uh, the dog owners, Elizabeth wasn't aware of the signal that Lola was giving to Elizabeth. Therefore, Lola said, okay, I'm not getting the message, I'm not clearing my message. So what I'm gonna do something that literally is gonna make sense to my human Elizabeth. So I'm gonna pee in my bed. Hopefully that will get the message across. And in your case, Jim, for example, your dog Sadie is telling you that I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to go and socialize with dogs. And you have to get that clue and not rush, right? Just put yourself in your dog's shoe. Um, for example, uh, I am watching something. I'm watching. There is a live music happening in front of our. There's something happening like live music, and somebody asks me, "Hey, Saro, you love music. You're good at music. Can you go and play something?" And I'm going to say, "No, I'm not ready for that. Although I love music, although I enjoy music, it doesn't mean that I can play music, right?" Uh, and if you put me in that situation, I'm going to stress out. But if you give me a heads up and say, you know what, how about in a month or two, can you come and do something music related? Yes, then I can work on it, prepare myself, do something, come up with something, and do something, right? So don't rush and take your time and slowly approach everything. This is your guidebook. It's not it's not to force you to do it. You don't have to accomplish all these in a day, but you're at least working on those. At least you're taking a little steps today, and you're making big changes for the future. So, for example, if your task today is to improve the socialization of Sadie, um, if you are, let's say, 10 feet away from dogs and Sadie goes berserk and goes crazy, maybe make it 20 feet today and see if she does better. If she does better, then that's a victory for you and Sadie. Tomorrow we'll make it 19 feet. In a week, maybe we'll make it 15 feet. And maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll make it 10 feet, and we'll see it then. And mainly, again, focus on improving your basic knowledge and help Sadie to have that basic knowledge as well, in order to accomplish this task. I hope that makes sense. Great question. Thank you for the question, Jim. Let's go to the next question from Kim. Kim says, do you use a special toy when you're working? Did I miss a question? I think I missed the question. All right. Uh, le- um, Yes, this is the question. Kim, my year-old standard poodle doesn't like to listen the first time I ask her to do something. She likes to tease and play first. Will she outgrow this? I'm guessing your poodle is a puppy or young one. Um,
Her previous question.
yeah. And the follow-up is, do you use a special toy when you are working with your dog, or a toy they have access to every day? Okay, great question. Kim, if your poodle, it doesn't listen to you for the first time, you ask her, um, the reason for that is it's not that it's trying to tease you and is doing, it's trying to, again, bother you or uh, make you feel. Let me just prepare something here so I have a visual as well as we go along. Um, okay, so when it comes to training your dog, when it comes to training in general, when it comes to training dogs, um, one of the first things that I usually suggest dog owners is that when you're starting to train your dog, let's say the plan for the day is to teach our dog to sit or whatever, stay or whatever it is, right? Um, we need to start with the idea in mind. Again, remember exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. If your poodle is not paying attention, it means you haven't exercised your poodle first. You have to exercise your poodle first, because we want to make sure that our dog is physically stimulated. So what I mean by that is you either have to exercise by playing with your dog, exercise your dog like by walking your dog, exercise your dog by allowing your dog to play with other dogs, and so on and on. If you exercise your dog first and then do the training, you will have better success, because now the reason your poodle is teases you and doesn't listen to you first time, it's not a matter of that she's going to grow out of it. It's because you're not clear enough in the plan. So you can ask a dog to learn when the mind and the body is still going. So you have to bring that energy level down before you train a dog. So here's what I would compare it to. When I used to go to school, even now, kids go to school. The school starts at 8 o'clock, for example. Um, the first class was 8 o'clock, right? And because you just woke up and all of a sudden you're in the classroom, you're trying to learn. My mind in that time was like, I'm sleepy, still sleepy. This is not making sense. I'm not learning anything. In that my situation, that time I was sleepy. But also some kids, they were like hyper, like, I want to go play. I want to do this. I want to do that. They couldn't focus on learning either, right? So that's the problem. We have to first exercise the body in order for the dog to say, you know what, now I can focus, right? So you have to exercise the body and then exercise the mind. So the reason I suggest you to focus on those 5 essential needs is because, the Purpose of it is to make sure that the dog has had decent amount of exercise, which is the physical stimulation, and if it provide that, then the mind and the body is ready to receive information and learn or be trained, which is the next step, which is mental stimulation. So you want to make sure that you are first providing the daily five essential needs in that order, which is first exercise, training, and then socialization. But your goal should be, first of all, exercise and then train. And then when you're training your dog, you have to make sure that your dog is under control, that therefore you can transform the information to your dog. And the best way is to put the dog on a leash and not practice, teach the lesson that you're trying to teach your dog. So in this case, I'm teaching Harvey, for example, sit, release, and stay, right? We're working on three commands, right? And
Teach your dog the stay command.
and
I hope you like.
and then I'm gonna off leash my dog and practice it with my dog. That's the key there. So first of all, you have to exercise your dog in a way that your dog.
Hello, dog lovers.
Hold on, let me bring that. So let me bring this one. I'm going to play another clip here. So your goal here is to make sure that, first of all, you exercise your dog, and second of all, you put it on a leash.
I'm going to put the bomb down. I'm going to praise him. Good boy. Yes.
You
All
teach
right.
the lesson.
So this is the training process. That's easy. After you've taught your dog.
So as I said, you put the dog on a leash, you train it, you teach it what you want, and then you practice it. So this is practice.
To sit. Now it's time to practice this command. So Harvey, come on, Harvey. Harvey, sit. Good boy. Now we are practicing. So he gets to play with a toy or something that he likes. So now we taught him, he knows what sit is, and we're going to practice the sit command. Harvey, over here. Harvey, sit. Good boy. He gets a toy and you get to play with it. Good boy. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So that's how easy it is. First, you teach your dog what you want it to do, and then you practice it with a play and praise reward training system. Plus, I'm going to also include some additional.
So that's what I meant. So yeah, a little bit, Kim. I hope that makes sense. So the reason it's not working is because you're not taking the right steps. So the first step should be you making sure that your poodle is exercised physically properly, and then so here's another tip: don't over exercise your poodle either to the point that your poodle is exhausted and tired, and then you're trying to teach it something or train it. You don't want your dog to be 100% exhausted. You want there to be some energy left so you can teach it, has some energy left to learn, and then you put it on a leash and you train it, you teach it, and then once your dog learns it, then you off leash it and then you practice it with the play and praise. I hope that makes sense. Let me see if there's a follow-up. Yes. Do you use a special toy when you're working with your dog, or a toy they have access to every day? This is another great question. So when I use play and praise as a reward system for my dog, and the play part we use a toy, or depending on your dog, whatever game your dog loves or likes to play, whatever it is, right? and Harvey's case is me running around and just a little bit of toy, right? Whereas Annie's case is fetch, right? Jonah, my first beagle, his love for game was being, running around and sniffing, chasing, and things like that. Hanging out with me, praise, mostly praise. So there are dogs who are praise motivated, or they are play motivated, or they are motivated with both. You can use both of them all at the same time. And when I use toy, I use a toy that my dog really loves, right? Um, so one of the suggestions that I have is you take your dog to the pet store and you go and you spend some time at the store and you go through all the toys at the store and try to let your dog to pick one toy that says, oh my god, I love this toy, I gotta have this toy. So you select that toy and you use that toy as the training motivator, and that toy only comes out when you're training your dog. Other than that, it's hiding somewhere. It's not in your dog's access. Your dog can get access to it. Only comes out at special times when we're training the dog. So this toy becomes the most valuable tool for training, and that's how I would use it. And yes, you want to select a special toy and don't let it to have access to it all the time, right? Hope that makes sense. Jim says yes, it does. I don't think I skipped any question, but Elizabeth says, sorry, I have to go with this. Elizabeth saying, Jim, my sister rescued a dog 4 years ago that has the same issue Sadie's having. She's been in training all of this time and she's still unable to socialize with other dogs. Wow. My sister was told just like some humans have anxiety and have hard time socializing, so do dogs. She's come to understand that and continues to work with her dog. Good luck with Sadie. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I was saying, first of all, uh, you don't have to push your dog to socialize with another dog. And I understand this concept as well. We don't want to dictate our dogs. We don't want to provide, become dictator to our dogs and say, you gotta go and socialize with dogs, otherwise you're not a dog, you're not a good dog. We don't want to do that. We want to give that freedom to the dog, freedom of choice, to the dog, that says, you know what, just like humans, I don't like to hang out with people. Not me. There are some people who don't like to hang out with people, and there are some people who are very social. They love hanging out with people. They love doing things with people, and there are people who just don't care whether, like, I think there are three types of people. From I was reading this book many years ago. There are three types of people. One type is people who are very social with other people, very social. If they don't get that socialization opportunity, they stress out. They have to have people, like, I don't know if you've seen certain in certain industries, certain workers, like cashiers or things like that. They are very social people. They love people. They love to hang out with people. They love to chat with people. Um, and that's the best job for them. They love it. They socializing with humans. And there are second type of people who don't like to socialize with people. They are introverts. and they like to hang out with themselves and do on their own things. And there are third type of people who are a little bit of social and a little bit introvert. I'm that kind of person myself personally. I love my me time, but I love also socialization time. I love people. I love to hang out with people and all that. So dogs are like that too. You have to see it that way with those 3 points of views, right? And if your dog is introvert, doesn't like to be with other dogs, Elizabeth, in your case, for example, your sister hasn't been able to help the dog to get to that socialization point of level that can go and socialize, and that's not end of the world. I think many people, again, they put this pressure and stress in their shoulders that my dog has to go and play with other dogs and socialize with other dogs, at least not to react. And I understand that. That's in the perfect world, in perfect life, yes. But there are situations and there are dogs and there are people who, unfortunately, that doesn't work like that. And one last thing that I'm going to share with you about socialization. Remember, I was telling you about the 3 types of people, extrovert, which are the very social people, introverts that they like to be alone, and mix up both. So your sister, now I don't know your sister, but Elizabeth, for example, your sister herself could be introverts type of person, right? Or let's go with that. Let's say your sister is introvert, and when you're introvert, you're projecting different energy to the universe, and your dog picks up on that as well and reflects that and says, you know what, I'm just going to be just like mom or dad or my humans, and I don't want to be socializing it with other people or dogs as well. Or your sister could be extroverts, loves to socialize, but because your sister loves to socialize with humans and everything, brings that energy to the dog and says, you have to also socialize, you have to be like me. And that's a lot of pressure on the dog and the individual who's not social, right? And if your sister, let's say, is both introvert and extrovert, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, then that's an opportunity for the dog to say, you know what, I'm gonna be confused. What am I supposed to do? Dogs are picking up human energy, and they go with the energy that their owner is projecting. And if the owner is projecting a little bit of this and a little bit of that, unfortunately, because dogs are black and white type of animals, what that means is they can be both. They can be both in social and not social, or just like humans, to be a little bit of social and a little bit of antisocial. They can. They get confused. And that's the problem for dogs and dog owners. Does that make sense? Is this either blowing your mind, or is this boring your mind? I don't know. Let me know in the chat area. Am I making sense or not? Let me know in the chat area. I would love to know your feedback on this topic and subject. Let's go to the next question, which is from Ashok. What is your thoughts on Boston Terrier? This is my second one. First one passed away after 16 years. Sorry to hear that. They seem to have a mind of their own, very loving, but jump a lot on people. Any way to stop that? Boston Terriers, I remember that we were calling them Boston terrorists, just as a joke, you know. Uh, I hope I'm not gonna get YouTube is not gonna stop this video just because of that. But Boston Terriers are, you know, just like any other dog. I would say, you know, in my point of view, it's the species, and then the dog, and then the breed, and then the individual. Okay, so as a species, they're fine. As a dog, they have certain characteristics in their breed, right? Uh, as a breed, you know, they are bred to do. I mean, they are bred to be Boston Terriers, right? So if you like, let me bring this up. Let's see. So I just googled Boston Terrier, right? Right. Um, and if you look read Boston Terrier breed information, the reason I want to bring this up is I think it's a good learning. Let me see if I'm going to get it. I love to expand on this. Um, I'm going to go characteristics. So here's the problem. Again, this is something that it confuses the dog owners and all that. So I'm asking, you know, what is the characteristics of Boston Terrier, right? And it says it's lively, happy dog that can be quiet, determined, and strong-willed, right? And if you look at, so let me try one more thing. Let's say Beagle. It'll make sense in a moment. Hold on. So if we look at Beagle, so Boston Terrier says lively, happy dog that can be quiet, determined, and strong-willed, right? And now I'm gonna bring up. I can share two two screens at the same time. Now, if I bring Beagle, for example, adaptable, versatile dog with loving, curious nature, it's almost similar, right? It's almost similar. It almost feels like we're talking about the same breed. All dogs have the same characteristics, you know, loving, adaptable, versatile. Boston Terriers are lively, happy, determined, strong-willed. Many Beagle owners would say that their Beagle is strong-willed as well. Um, and that's the problem. We think, okay, this breed is more special than the other or different than other. No, they're all the same. The only difference is the way you um, raise them, the way you allow them to be a dog. So what I mean by that is um, Boston Terriers are agile dogs. They love physical activities as much as they love mental activities. Now, many dog owners they don't realize that dogs need mental stimulation as well, right? So every dog needs proper form of exercise. Every dog, um, beside any breed, you know, any breed of dog needs exercise. You need to train a Boston Terrier. You need to socialize a Boston Terrier. You have to provide proper care for your Boston, and you have to provide affection as well. And I know most dog owners, they don't have a problem sharing affection and providing good care for the dogs. What they mainly lack is the part of exercise, training, and socialization. And I would say the main of these three, the part that is lacking is the training. The training lacks because various reasons. We're busy, we don't know what we are supposed to do, our dog is going to grow out of it, I'm frustrated, I'm giving up, all these reasons, we don't do the training, no matter what breed of dog you have. And again, if you focus on providing proper exercise, proper training, and proper socialization, you won't have any problem with your Boston Terrier, right? And my thoughts about Boston Terriers is that we used to have doggy daycare, and we used to get all kinds of dogs, and Boston Terriers were one of the fun breeds that they were there. They're always fun. They're always troublemakers, just like any other dogs, right? And just like any other untrained dogs, they were trouble, right? And terriers, they have been bred for, finding small animals, uh, killing them and eating them, not eating them, but killing them. Um, and that's what they're bred for. But because they're living with humans, we need to have some form of structure, right? So the way you provide that structure is by focusing on providing your Boston Terriers daily five essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And the reason your Boston Terrier jumps on people is not because of the breed, it's because you haven't trained it. And again, the lack of training is the reason that it causes the dog to do certain behaviors. And then, as a human being, which is very natural, we blame everything else but ours, right? We blame the breed. Whereas we didn't take the time to train the dog, and therefore we are saying, "Oh, it's a breed thing." You know, I have a beagle. It never listens to me when I'm out there. It's off leash and just takes off. It's the breed thing. It's not my fault. But I asked the beagle owner, "Have you trained your beagle at all? Have you done your homework? Have you worked on your dog?" Yeah, a little bit here and there. We did puppy training and wasn't good, and so we gave up and all that. So that's unfortunately that's the problem. We try as a human being. We never want to blame ourselves. We want to always blame everything else but ourselves. And I'm one of them as well. Every time something happens in the house or something, and my wife, for example, catches me and says, "Hey, you didn't do this, or you did this, or you did that," I blame everything else but myself. And that's a human being, right? We have to, but I'm still learning. I'm learning to be accountable for my actions, and do the right thing and say the right thing and be the right person. And I take my, what you call, my preaching to my teaching. I preach what I teach, and I do train my dog. Now, if you want to work with me, and if you want to have your ideal dog and work on the process of achieving your and getting the goals. Your goal is to have that ideal dog and perfect dog. Well, I have a perfect plan, and I'm here ready for you to help you to get the goals that you want to get, and achieve your goals. And if you want to work with me, I'm offering a free consultation. So what this free consultation does is helps you to talk to me, give me your detailed information about your challenges that you have, about the problems that you have, and then I listen and I say, you know what, I can help you, or I'm sorry, I can't help you. No obligation. All we do, we talk, we figure out if I can be part of your life and help you to achieve your goals, just like many of my students have achieved their goals. I'm working on few students as well at the moment, and I'm always ready to help other dog owners as well. So if you want to do that, if you want to talk to me and have a free consultation with me, all you have to do in the description of this video, there's a link that you can click on and set up the details of. There's a calendar that you can set up a day and time that is ideal for you, for us to meet. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for being here as well. Ashok, thank you for being here. Elizabeth, thank you for being here. Jim, thank you for being here. Everybody, thank you for, as well as Arkelio, thank you for being here. I really had a good time. I think we set up some good foundation to succeed in our dog training journey. I hope I was able to help you with your dog related issues. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave those questions in the comments area. I read them all and I answer them all as well. And yet, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. There's a button right here, I believe. It says subscribe. Go ahead and click on that. And then somewhere around here, there's a button that says like. Please like the video as well. And if you also can, share this video with your other dog lovers as well. Thank you very much. I had fun. I hope you enjoyed this session. I'll see you next time. And until next time, have fun with your dog.